Ruslan.
Relationships, like just for context, I have like a good group of friends who like they're good people, but they're not saved, and they also like they don't have any work. Like they kind of sit at home, they play video games all day, and they feel like they can't get a job. They feel like they can't make money. And I'm always trying to like encourage them. I'll send them applications to places I've worked in the past so that, they could apply there, and then it's like it doesn't work out. Part of me feels like God put me in their path just to help them, but like it's been a long time now, and I feel like God might be. I'm trying to really think on how to do it, or if I should do it at all, because like sometimes like their negativity gets on me, and I just.
So the question is, when you have friends that are not followers of Jesus and are not aligned with your value system, how do you navigate those relationships?
Right.
When
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, when it seems like there's no progression happening and there's no desire to progress forward. And would you say these are friends like in your personal intimate circle? Like these are like some of your closest, really close, or these are just kind of acquaintances?
They're I wouldn't like, I try to like not get too close. I mean, they're good friends of mine, but I try not to like speak on like real personal things because a lot of our values aren't lined up. So I feel like if they were to give me advice, like I would try to like, like total line.
Yeah.
As far as like trying to get like bring them into my like deep circle, because I feel like it wouldn't be beneficial to me because they're not saved and they have a lot of viewpoints that I don't agree with.
Yeah.
So
Got it. The reason why I asked that is because they've done studies where they've, on average, calculated the 5 people closest to you. And the 5 people closest to you, on average, where they are financially is on average where you are financially, right? And I think that's fascinating. So if you just do the math, think about your 5 closest friends, the people you spend the most amount of time with, and you approximate their income, approximate your income, and that's more or less going to be about the same, right? The average of you're the sum total of the 5 people closest to you when it comes to financially. I would extend that to, I think where spiritually, right? Emotionally, all that kind of stuff. Like who we are, what we consume, who we're around are vastly important and super duper crucial. And, the scriptures talk about not being yoked with unbelievers, right? And the idea of a yoke. First time I heard that, I was young. I was like, a yoke? What are you talking about? Egg yolk? Like, don't break the egg. Like, I didn't understand what it was like with the egg yolk, right? And so I didn't quite understand that. And I asked my youth pastors, they're like, what is it? What are we talking about? Egg yolks and right? And so what that was talking about was oxen being yoked together and the yoke pulling them together, because if one is pulling more than the other, right, then eventually they're going to just go in circles and not get anything done. And so I think relationships are like that. Business relationships are like that. Friendships are like that, right? Especially marriage is like that. So I think you ask a very good question, like, how do we navigate that tension of, hey, I want to love you as a brother, but I also have to guard myself in this relationship because you don't want to, cast your pearls before swine, if you will, right? Which is that's a Jesus quote. So what I've done, okay, hip hop, this is what's been beneficial to me is the folks that want to get it. I'm there to inspire them. I'm there to let's do it. Let's get it. But I set very specific boundaries with people. So boundaries for me look like, I'm not here for you to vent to. That's not healthy for me. That's not healthy for you. We're not playing that game with Ruslan. So I'm not the guy that you're going to call and eat up my time and vent about random stuff. And so that is like a hard boundary. Like, you need to vent, go get a therapist. That's not me. If you're venting and I don't get to give you advice or speak into your life, right? So that's like a boundary of mine. And sometimes just Also, being upfront with people, giving people time. Sometimes if I don't feel like talking to somebody, I got something else going on, somebody calls that I don't want to talk to, and I know where the conversation is going to go, or I'm legitimately just busy, I'll say on the front end, hey, I have 5 minutes right now. I'm about to go do A, B, and C, and I got 5 minutes, and then I really got to go, right? And then that creates a boundary. That creates an expectation on the front end. So that's helpful. What I found, okay, hip hop, is that you can't do the work for people. You can tell them what worked for you, but you can't do the work for them. And generally, my friends who were lazy or didn't have the desire, as I pulled away or set boundaries, they kind of figured it out on their own, if you will. And then we can have cloth talk. Then we can talk next level investment. And then we could talk, okay, how do you scale what you're doing to another level? Then we can dream. But if someone doesn't have the sustainability of just a job, right? Like, because so much is, I mean, like, work is important. That's why I'm doing this whole like love what you do launch that we got coming. There's so much value we find from work. Like, there's so much attached to dignity to work. And so if somebody's not working, their like psyche is probably off. Because they don't have no dignity. If they're just sitting around all day and doing nothing, collecting unemployment, not work, there's going to be a off balance there, because God created us to work, right? Genesis 1, Adam naming the animals, right? And then post the fall, all of a sudden the work becomes thorns and thistles, right? And so I'm gonna do a whole deeper study on this again with the Love What You Do collection launch. And so my answer to you would be set boundaries. Don't let people vent to you. Offer advice if you could speak into it, and then if it's not going anywhere, you got to pull back, because you got stuff you need to be doing. You got responsibilities. You're trying to save money, and you're trying to progress in your career, and your energy is finite. Your willpower is finite. These things are not just like unlimited accesses, and you got to be very careful, because once you're doing better, some of us then try to play savior. Some of us then try to go into Messiah complex, and that's really toxic. You trying to save everybody else is going to get in the way of you doing the things that God needs you to do, because you're emotionally drained thinking about all these other people that got problems. So you got to also make sure that you don't do that. And then we see that in relationships. We see that, missionary dating, cohabitation, codependency. One person is the savior, the other person needs to be saved, and it creates the cycle. And I know because I've always been kind of the more stable one and wanting to save everybody and do all these, and it's like, that's not healthy. And the more I started to pull back and really focus on what I need to be doing, God blessed what I was doing, and God actually gave that person clarity, and they were able to figure out what the next step. Because sometimes when you're around big personalities that are getting it and making beats and doing creative things, people then think they have to do what you do to be successful, and they don't. My friends that didn't get it did something totally different. They went a totally different path than me being the YouTube big personality, content, technology. They did something totally different. And so I think it's the same way. Like, people, you might be like, well, this is what's working for me, do this. And they may need to go and be a plumber. You know what I'm saying? They may not need to do anything in the creative space. They may need to go get a blue collar job, right? And so I think that's the tough part in those relationships. So I say the biggest takeaway, man, set those boundaries, bro. Set healthy boundaries, set healthy expectations. Do not slide into a savior complex, and do not fall into codependent relationships. That is far too common, especially dealing with creative people, especially dealing with people that don't have your value system. We have a burden and a heart for people, but that can quickly turn toxic. Jesus is people's savior, not you or me.
Kingstream Entertainment. Ruslan.
Thank you so much for making it till the end of this video. If you found it valuable, please consider giving it a like and subscribing. You can check out one of the other videos related to this that'll be over here. Now, I gotta tell you about a free training I have for anyone that is an entrepreneur, a creative, an artist, but maybe you are unsure on how to find your voice, how to find your niche. I have a free training in the description of this video. Check it out. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you on the next video.